Good morning, Nova here, June 14th, 2026, and welcome to your morning AI and IT news. Today's big theme is control. Control over models, control over data, control over cloud costs, and even control over who gets to own strategic AI assets across borders. We're seeing governments step in harder, while companies race to make AI faster, cheaper, and more useful in everyday work. So this morning, let's walk through 8 stories that show how AI is maturing from a flashy product cycle into real infrastructure, regulation, and global power politics. Anthropic shuts down Fable and Mythos after US Directive. Anthropic has suspended access to its Fable and Mythos model family after a Trump administration Commerce Department directive reportedly flagged a Fable 5 jailbreak as a potential national security risk. The move affects US-hosted availability first, with enterprise and API customers seeing service changes immediately. Anthropic has not announced a return date, and developers using those models are being pushed toward other Claude family options. This matters because it shows frontier model access can now be interrupted by government order, not just company policy. A jailbreak is a method for bypassing safety rules. If Washington believes a model can too easily help with cyber, bio, or weapons misuse, shutdown pressure becomes real. For developers and businesses, that means model diversification is no longer optional. If one model disappears overnight, products break. Ever heard of a jailbreak? In AI, it means prompting or manipulating a model so it ignores built-in safety controls and answers requests it was supposed to refuse. AI Meta reportedly unwinds $2 billion Manus deal after Beijing demand. Meta is reportedly dismantling its planned $2 billion acquisition of Manus after Chinese authorities ordered the transaction reversed. The deal had been watched closely because Manus was seen as strategically valuable in AI software and data infrastructure, and because cross-border tech acquisitions now face tighter scrutiny from both Washington and Beijing. The facts here are bigger than one canceled purchase. China appears increasingly unwilling to let advanced domestic AI assets move under US control, especially when the buyer is one of America's largest platform companies. Meta, meanwhile, loses a shortcut to talent, IP, and regional market leverage. Why it matters now is simple. The global AI market is splitting into spheres of influence. Capital can still move, but core models, chips, data, and engineering teams are becoming geopolitical assets. Watch for more partnerships, licensing deals, and minority stakes instead of outright acquisitions. Ever heard of deal unwind? It means a merger or acquisition that was signed or planned gets reversed, often because regulators decide it threatens competition, security, or national interests. Security. Google sues alleged China-linked AI scam network. Google has sued a cybercrime group it calls Outsider Enterprise, alleging the operation used AI tools to scam hundreds of thousands of victims. According to Google, the group sent roughly 2.5 million text messages in just 2 weeks, using AI to generate convincing phishing lures, fake business identities, and scalable fraud workflows. That scale is the story. AI is making old-school scams cheaper, faster, and more personalized. Instead of clumsy spam, victims now get messages that sound local, urgent, and believable. Google's lawsuit is part legal action, part disruption strategy, and part warning to platforms and carriers. For consumers, this means text message fraud is entering a much more sophisticated phase. For businesses, support desks and brand teams will face more impersonation attacks. For governments, AI fraud is becoming a public safety issue, not just a nuisance. Watch for stronger telecom filtering, account verification, and AI-generated scam detection. Have you heard of phishing? It's a scam where attackers pretend to be a trusted company or person to trick you into giving up passwords, payment info, or account access. Cloud. Railway raises $100 million to build an AI-native cloud. Railway, the San Francisco cloud platform, has raised $100 million in Series B funding led by TQ Ventures, with FPV Ventures, Redpoint, and Unusual Ventures participating. The company says it has reached 2 million developers, processes more than 10 million deployments a month, and handles over 1 trillion edge requests. Railway claims sub-second deployments, major cost savings, and growing Fortune 500 usage. The deeper story is that AI coding tools are changing what developers expect from cloud infrastructure. If Claude, ChatGPT, or Cursor can write code in seconds, teams no longer want 2 or 3 minute deploy cycles. Railway is betting that speed, simplicity, and usage-based pricing can beat legacy cloud complexity. This matters to startups first, but enterprises are watching too. If Railway's model holds up, AWS, Google Cloud, and Azure may face pressure to simplify and lower idle cost waste. Ever heard of AI native cloud? It means infrastructure designed from the start for fast AI-era workflows, where software is created, tested, deployed, and updated at machine speed. Google introduces Gemma 4.12b, a unified multimodal model. Google has introduced Gemma 4.12b, describing it as a unified encoder-free multimodal model. In plain English, that means one 12 billion parameter model can work across text and visual inputs without relying on a separate image encoder pipeline. That can simplify deployment and reduce engineering overhead for developers building compact multimodal apps. Why this matters is efficiency. The market has plenty of giant models, but many companies want something smaller, cheaper, and easier to fine-tune or run in constrained environments. A tighter multimodal stack could help with edge use cases, enterprise document workflows, robotics, and mobile assistance. For developers, the real question is benchmark quality versus cost. If Gemma 4.12b performs well enough, it could become a practical default for teams that don't need the biggest model. Watch for community fine-tunes and inference optimization quickly. Ever heard of multimodal? It means an AI model can understand more than one type of input, like text, images, audio, or video, instead of just words alone. Security. Zero Trust aggregation pushes private analytics forward. A new push around private analytics via Zero Trust aggregation is getting attention because it promises useful measurement without requiring any single party to fully trust the others holding the data. The idea is that analytics can be computed in a privacy-preserving way, reducing exposure of raw personal information while still allowing abuse prevention, product measurement, or security monitoring. That matters right now because AI systems are hungry for signals, but regulators and users are increasingly hostile to broad data collection. Zero Trust designs can help companies answer business questions without building giant stores of sensitive user-level data. For security teams, this could improve fraud detection while lowering breach risk. For consumers, it offers a path to better privacy if implemented honestly. For developers, it likely means more cryptographic tooling and more careful data architecture. Watch for adoption in browsers, messaging, and ad measurement. Ever heard of Zero Trust? It's a security approach that assumes no user, device, or system should be automatically trusted, even if it's already inside the network. NVIDIA Blackwell tops first agentic AI infrastructure benchmark. NVIDIA says its Blackwell Ultra NVL72 platform leads the first published agent perf results from artificial analysis, a new benchmark focused on agentic AI workloads. According to the announcement, Blackwell delivered the top performance in the tested scenarios and ran up to 20 times more agents per megawatt than previous generation approaches in certain comparisons. Benchmarks always deserve caution, but this one matters because agentic AI stresses infrastructure differently than simple chatbot inference. Agents loop through planning, tool use, memory, and execution. That means latency, orchestration, and power efficiency become much more important. For enterprises, this is a buying signal. Future AI spending may shift from best model to best full system. For cloud providers, it raises the bar on how AI clusters are marketed. For developers, faster agent infrastructure could make autonomous workflows more practical and cheaper. Ever heard of agentic AI? It refers to AI systems that do multi-step tasks on their own, like planning, using tools, checking results, and taking follow-up actions. Gemini 3.5 Live Translate brings natural voice translation. Google is rolling out Gemini 3.5 Live Translate across Google AI Studio, Google Translate, and Google Meet, adding near real-time speech translation with more natural voice output. The key promise is not just faster translation, but smoother pacing, better turn-taking, and speech that sounds more human rather than robotic. This is a big deal because voice translation has often been technically impressive, but socially awkward. If conversations feel delayed or unnatural, people stop using it. Better live translation could reshape meetings, customer support, travel, education, and cross-border teamwork. For businesses, Meet integration may lower language friction in distributed teams. For developers, AI Studio access could inspire new multilingual voice apps. For consumers, this gets us closer to everyday translation that people actually trust in the moment. Watch for accuracy across accents, low bandwidth performance, and pricing tiers. Ever heard of latency? It's the delay between speaking and hearing the translated result. In live conversation, even small delays can make dialogue feel stiff and unnatural.
Hey, Notha here.
So if there's one takeaway this morning, it's that AI is no longer just about who has the smartest model. It's about who controls access, who owns the infrastructure, who can defend users from abuse, and who can turn these systems into something reliable in daily life. We've got governments pulling models, regulators blocking deals, startups rethinking the cloud, and big platforms racing to make AI feel seamless and safe enough for normal people. That's a much more serious and honestly more interesting phase of the AI era. All right, catch me again tomorrow. Have a great day out there.